Call this meeting of the Brooklyn City Council to order. Mary Jo, could you do the roll?
Ron Van Kirk,
Excused, absent.
Meg Ryan Shockey,
Excused, absent.
Andy Selhertz,
Here.
Kathy Pucci, here. Mary Belbear,
Here.
Kevin Tansky,
Here.
Barb Politzky.
Here.
Please join me in a moment. First, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and after that, please join us also in a moment of silence and observance of the Memorial Day at the request of Councilman Tansky. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. On our agenda tonight, we have minutes to approve of the meeting of May 13th, 2019. I have a motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
To approve the minutes, Andy Selhertz,
Yes.
Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Mary Belbear,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Barb Politzky.
Yes.
At this time, we'll have the public session. If anyone in the audience has anything to say for the good and welfare of the city of Brooklyn, please step forward, state your name and address, and you will be recognized. Please remember to try to keep your comments to 5 minutes or less.
Good evening. John Wagner, 4825 Bentwood Drive, Brooklyn, Ohio. Quick census update. For those of you that have applied, they have hired the first group of supervisors for their first module. But we still need people to help us working with those supervisors. They will be placing those, making those offers starting June 10th through the 26th of June to start in July. So there's still time. If anybody has any questions, they're welcome to see me after the meeting, and thank you very much.
Anyone else? All right, thank you. Next, we'll have reports of committees, commissions, and boards. We will start with Councilwoman Pucci with the Finance Committee.
Good evening. The Finance Committee met this evening at 6:30. This is a public meeting and all are welcome and encouraged to attend. We received a notice of a $1,600 grant from the 2019 Recycle Ohio, and this is for the Keep America Beautiful certification. Mr. Butler spoke about Ordinance 2019-24, which deals with our small cell wireless legislation. And Mr. Raguse who will provide a more detail in his report, spoke about our note sale and that this resulted in a better rate than we anticipated. He also has provided us with the April financial reports and the documents for our June 3rd, 2020 budget meeting. He also reported to us some information on income tax withholding, which I'm sure you're going to go into more detail. And that completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have a report from the Recreation Board, Councilman Tansky.
Thank you. The Brooklyn Recreation Center Field House will be open to the public from June 1st through July 31st, while the ice rink is down. Brooklyn residents and pass holders can take part in basketball, pickleball, soccer, volleyball, cornhole, and other activities. There's limited equipment available, so you are welcome to bring your own basketball, volleyball, or soccer ball. Court 1 will be for basketball, no full court play, drop and shoot around in 3-on-3 games only. Court 2 is open for open play gym activities. Court 3 will be used for pickleball, 2 courts lined. There is no baseball, softball, lacrosse, or golf permitted. Hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Cost, recreation center pass holders, senior residents and children under 5 years old, free. Residents of recreation center ID card, student, youth, $2, adult, $3. Children under 11 must be accompanied by an adult. All non-pass holders must have a Brooklyn Recreation Center ID card for entrance. ID required to reserve equipment. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, we'll have a report from the Planning Commissioner for Mayor Gallagher.
Thank you. I'm filling in for Mr. Hinkirk tonight, who is out of town. The Planning Commission met on May 22nd and heard a request from Swenson's Drive-In for a conditional use for a drive-in restaurant at 4660 Ridge Road, permanent parcel 43307-004, and a preliminary plan site approval for a drive-in restaurant. The Planning Commission voted to make this, Gary, to make this a similar use as a conditional use drive-through. The Planning Commission will meet Thursday, June 6th at 7 p.m. There was a request from EcoSite for a final plan approval for a new cell tower at 3560 Ridge Road, permanent parcel 43104-014. Request from EcoSite for a final site plan approval for a new cell tower at 8720 Brook Park Road, permanent parcel 43319-004. Request from Blink Signs for an internally illuminated wall sign for Loving Cup Child Care Center at 4476 Ridge Road. Request for B2B Properties for a wall sign for B2B Realty at 4324 Ridge Road. A request from All Signs and Designs for a banner sign on a building for a 6-month period for Granite Depot at 11400 Brook Park Road, permanent parcel 43316-018. A request from Agile Sign for a sign package for Ross Dress for Less at Ridge Park Square, permanent parcel 43315-001. A request from Technical Product for a new industrial storage building at 3500 Ridge Road, permanent parcel 43104-012. A request from Swenson's Drive-In for a conditional use drive-in restaurant at 4660 Ridge Road, permanent parcel 43307-004, and a preliminary site plan approval for the drive-in, same location. All of this is located on the city's board docs. If you ever want to look at any of these documents, you can go into the same tab under City Council minutes, and look at all of the documents posted for Planning Commission meetings. Thank you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. The Public Works Committee will be holding a meeting at the conclusion of the City Council meeting tonight in these chambers. We're going to be meeting with the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District just to get a better comprehensive view of some flood mitigation issues, to see just a bigger picture of how to handle the situations that we have within the city. So it's just going to be a general information, try to get a better understanding. The public is definitely welcome to attend this meeting. Next, we'll have reports of council. We'll be starting with Councilwoman Pucci.
Thank you. Good evening. First, I'd like to thank everyone who was involved in the Memorial Day festivities, the Rec Department, Service Department, Fire and Police Departments, and also the Brooklyn Music Department and Music Boosters. It takes a lot of work, effort, and coordination, and I appreciate everyone's efforts. I'd also like to thank the ladies from the Laurel Garden Club for sponsoring their plant sale. I was able to pick up some perennials and also connect with some old friends. And that completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Councilwoman Mary Valbert.
Thank you. I'm pretty much going to echo the same. I will have to say that our city looked absolutely beautiful for Memorial Day, although I was out of town for the event. It looked absolutely beautiful coming into the city and driving to work this morning. And I appreciate all the hard work that our service department does for our city. Secondly, I'd like to thank all the vets. Coming from a family, once again, I always echo this also. My father was a World War II vet, and my husband was a Vietnam vet. There's something very special about veterans nowadays and the recognition that they're getting and the recognition that has been long overdue for them. So for many of the vets that are out there, I thank you for your service, and those that are the Vietnam vets, welcome home, and that completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Councilman Kevin Tansky.
Good evening. It was nice to see many Brooklyn residents at the Memorial Day Parade yesterday. The weather was perfect, the Brooklyn High School marching band was great, and there were some very grateful speeches given by community leaders that honored all those who serve, who are currently serving in our country. The last council meeting, I read a few articles from the Cleveland Plain Dealer on the declining population in Cuyahoga County and the impact it could have on our community. Mayor Katie Gallagher will be inviting representatives from the Greater Cleveland Partnership to a council meeting after the summer break to discuss the tax issue and population loss in Cuyahoga County. There will also be discussions on regionalization and consolidation of some services, and why these services may be necessary to sustain this region. I appreciate the mayor's efforts in addressing these very important issues that are vital to the residents of Cuyahoga County. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next is Councilwoman Barbara Politsky.
Thank you. Yes, it was a beautiful Memorial Day. Thank you to Pastor Carl Etheridge for leading us in prayer and reflection on the sacrifice that young men and women made and are still making to keep our country free. Since one day is not enough, I try to remember to tell the vets that I meet, thank you for your service. Retired police officer and veteran Rich Hovan was our keynote speaker. Thank you for sharing your wartime experience. I know it was difficult, as most veterans share the same thoughts of their war experience. They just don't want to talk about it. I was about 7 years old when my brother came back from World War II, and I don't remember him ever saying anything except that he was glad to be home. Thanks to the men and women of our service department for all their hard work in preparing for this day. Thank you also to the members of the Laurel Garden Club who helped to plant at various sites in Veterans Memorial Park. And thank you, Mayor Gallagher and your staff who made sure everything ran smoothly. I am honored to do my small part in serving this city. That ends my report.
Thank you. I also like to echo the sentiments about Mr. Verba and his staff getting the city all cleaned up and in shape. Looked very nice. Also coming up on Thursday, June 6th, start of concerts in the park. It will be from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Pavilion. It'll be School of Rock will be performing, and there will be a concert every month thereafter at the Pavilion. And that concludes my report. Next is the Mayor's report, Mayor Gallagher.
Thank you. I as well want to thank everybody for Memorial Day. It turned out to be a terrific day. Thank you to all of our employees, our recreation employees who do a ton of the work, our service department for keeping the city clean and getting it ready, and my assistant who helps out with this. To all the parade participants, the VFW, Carl Etheridge, Richard Hovan, the Brooklyn Band, and the Laurel Garden Club for helping planting the flowers before the parade. I'd like to welcome our new engineer, Dan Garrison, who's here tonight from GPD. I know most of you got to meet him in the finance meeting. I think Mary, maybe if afterwards you can introduce yourself. I think he's trying to make sure that he introduces himself to all the city council members. He met the staff this morning at the staff meeting for directors. I'd also want to give a big shout out to all of our senior volunteers again. We had a senior appreciation day last week where the directors were serving food to all of our senior volunteers. We have over 54 senior volunteers that help run the recreation center, so the least we can do is recognize them at least once a year with a big meal and a thank you and some gift cards for all that they do to keep our senior center running. We've had over 70 applications for our exterior maintenance grant program. We continue to get them in, and soon we'll have our intern from the Cleveland Foundation working towards the end of this week to create a matrix to do the scoring for the $3,000 grants for the exterior maintenance. So if you haven't gotten your grants in, don't hesitate to still apply. We're taking them to the beginning of July. Congratulations to the 2019 high school students. Will be graduating this weekend. It's such a great time in their lives as they go off to college or start their careers. So I just want to congratulate them in advance. I will be attending that ceremony on Sunday. Andy mentioned the concert at the park. It is June 5th at 6:30. We will have a smoothie truck there to try to just get people to stick around and enjoy the park while the concert's going around. I have a coffee with the mayor on the 7th at 9 a.m. at the senior center. All are welcome. And then I did want to give some facts about the census. We will be having the next census and everything go out for people to fill out information in various forms, whether on computer or door to door if you don't reply to the census data. So this will go out next April, but we're trying to get everybody to reply. And so for those of you who don't know, this is a Constitution mandate. It's been going on since 1790, and it's every 10 years. Why it's important for you to fill out the census is it impacts our redistricting for boundaries for the congressional and state legislative districts, which essentially means that we have more representatives in DC in order to advocate for our needs in our region and in the state of Ohio. So there's about $675 billion that get distributed based upon this with these needs, and this is all determined on population for region. So for each person that's not counted in the census, Ohio loses $1,814 in funding. So it's important for you to fill this out. You're going to keep hearing this. I'm going to keep saying this because not only is this regionally important, not only this is important to Ohio, it's important to our city as well because we don't want to leave any money on the table. So whoever's living at your house at the time you're filling out that document, you want to include them on that census document. And last thing, we have Big Creek cleanup this Saturday, June 1st from 9 a.m. to 12. If you're interested in participating, you can meet behind the fire station. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, we'll have reports from directors. First will be Recreation Commissioner Abruzzi.
Thank you. Along with the field house, as was mentioned before, our outdoor pool will open Saturday, June 1st, along with the outdoor sport court for basketball and tennis in Memorial Park. The playground installation that will be happening at Memorial Park, upper playground, will be happening on June 4th, weather permitting. The project should take approximately 4 to 5 days, and we'll need about 2 days to kind of finish off the project with some mulching and some finish work on the grounds up there. So we're looking at about a 7-day project with that. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Next will be a Finance Director, Tom Raguse.
Good evening, City Council. I got a few updates to share. As Councilwoman Pucci mentioned earlier in her report, we did complete a successful bond anticipation note sale of $3.23 million, which would mostly finance the American Road project. Our rates came in better than we anticipated and better than last year. Our yield came in at 1.75%. We anticipated 1.8%, and as compared to 2.05% last year. So based upon the differential in the yield, the 0.3%, we saved about $10,000 in debt costs on this issue as we got a cheaper rate. Also, the April financial report is on board docs. Just a quick overview on that report. General fund revenues are 3% higher than last year. I do anticipate at this time to come in over what we anticipated on the revenue portion. Most of it as it relates to one-time revenues relating to income tax revenue. Expenses or commitments have decreased by approximately $870,000. Most of that is a timing difference as it relates to our encumbrances for healthcare. That should even out in May. Overall, our fund balance is at $15.1 million at the end of April 2019. Lastly, you all should have received information related to the budget work session on June 3rd at 6 p.m. Let me know if you have any questions as you review the documents as it pertains to that. And that concludes my report tonight.
Thank you. Next up is a report from the Fire Chief, Chief Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Selkerts. Good evening, everyone.
Tonight I would like to recognize a few of our safety forces this evening for an Excellence in Emergency Medical Service awards that were received by both the City of Brooklyn Fire and Police Departments from Metro Hospital last week. I would like to congratulate Sergeant Doug Boyle, Officer Doug Gazer, and Officer Brad Washburn of the Brooklyn Police Department for their assistance with the patient who was found in cardiopulmonary arrest and did CPR until EMS arrived. This patient survived and is on their way to recovery. I would also like to congratulate Lieutenant Jason Black, firefighter EMT Ed Krajewski, firefighter paramedics Ed Coyne, Mike Tranewski, George Sahelnick, and Matt Intel, the Brooklyn Fire Department. They recognized that the patient was in their care and was having a stroke. This patient was treated and transported and is expected to make a full recovery. I would also like to thank Mayor Gallagher for attending the ceremony as well. That completes my report. Thank you. Thank you.
I forgot one thing. Thank you for recognizing me. We do have a Civil Service Commission opening. The term will expire January 24, 2021. The commission includes 3 citizens' appointments at my discretion with council's approval. The board meets the 3rd Tuesday of every month. The commission reviews hiring, grades applications for employment, and oversees workforce processes. This is a paid position, and if you're interested, please send me a letter of interest with some qualifications at my email address at kagallagher@brooklynohio.gov. And I'm going to be looking at these up until June 12th. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is notifications. The city received a 2019 Ohio EPA Recycle Grant Award of $1,600 to be used for the Keep America Beautiful certification fee. In legislation for old business, we have up ordinance 2019-19. It's for 3rd reading and adoption to amend section 6 of ordinance 2010-26 entitled Establishing General Admission Rates at the John M. Coyne Recreation Center and Auditorium. This is relating to admission rates, deals with age detail for being in a rec center or in a pool area without an adult.
Move to adopt.
Second.
To adopt, Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer.
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Barb Politzky.
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is ordinance 2019-24, 2nd reading. It's amending new chapter 937, use of public ways for small cell wireless facilities and wireless support structures of the Streets, Utilities, and Public Services Code of the codified ordinance of the city. And we have no new business tonight. Any additional items from council or mayor?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
To adjourn, Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes.
Mary Belbeer.
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Barb Politzky.
Yes.
Thank you. And in about 5 minutes, we'll have the Public Works meeting with the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District.